Hello everyone, in this video I will show you what Dolphin Anty is, how to use it, and how to take your first steps in the app. To start, let's try to find our Dolphin Anty in the Google search engine. There it is, first on the list. First, we land directly on the primary dashboard interface of our application. Here, you can get acquainted with information about the application, learn about its features, contact support if you need to find out something specific, and get more details on how to use the product and what reviews are already available. If you want to learn more, we've also put together a list of the most popular questions for you here. You can also check out the answers to them. To use the application, we first need to register. Let's do it. Let's try to do this. To do this, we click the button, Create an account. We are taken to the registration window, and here we enter the information needed to register. First of all, we need to enter an email address. I've already prepared an email address to register with. We enter the email address. We enter the password. The password must meet the requirements specified here, minimum 8 characters and so on. Let's do the same. And we will indicate Telegram. We recommend that you provide a valid Telegram account, which will allow you to contact our support team and our representatives if necessary, in order to get some additional chips, goodies, bonuses, and so on. Therefore, I recommend indicating your real Telegram here. Next, promo code. In the promo code field, you can enter any promo code that you know in advance. Let's say you came from some services, there was a promo code for Dolphin. If you don't have a promo code, we recommend using the Dolphin promo code, which will give you a 20% discount on your first payment. Next, you need to agree to our terms. If you want to learn more about something, you can follow the link for each parameter and read the relevant terms. Next, click the button, Create Account. And after that, we need to confirm our account. To do this, go to your email account. You'll see a confirmation email. Open it. Next, you will need to complete a short quiz. And then you will enter your personal account. Within your own personal account dashboard, you will be able to find much more detailed information regarding your current subscription plan, your specific terms of service, and the various ways to make a payment. To successfully make a payment, you will first need to click on the prominent Upgrade button, carefully choose the specific plan that suits your needs best, and then proceed to pay accordingly for your selection. Let's choose the base plan for 100 profiles as an example. Next, you need to specify how many users there will be. For example, let's say there will be 3 users and each user costs $10 for this plan. Then, select the payment period, for instance, 1 month. After that, choose the payment method and the total amount will be calculated accordingly. Since you have a promo code, you can also enter and apply it. And accordingly, a 20% discount will be applied, as I mentioned earlier. Next, click Pay. And after you are redirected to the payment window, you can complete the payment here and your plan will be activated. But before we do that, let's go to the application itself. To use the application, you need to download it. To do this, you can click the download button in your personal account. You will be redirected to a landing page, and from there, the application will start downloading. Let's wait a bit while it downloads. If you see that it's downloading in a format you don't need, simply select the file you require. For example, I have Windows, so the .exe file is being downloaded. If you have a Mac or Linux, you need to select the appropriate file. And the installation begins. Next, we open the application. And find ourselves at the Dolphin Anty login window. When we registered, we entered our email address. Let's use that email now. Next, we enter the password that we specified. Now, we successfully enter our application and the Dolphin Anty app opens up immediately. Di Sabana. Right here, you will clearly see the specific account that we just finished registering. And accordingly, it is a completely clean, fresh profile ready for use. So let us now take the very first essential steps together to get everything set up properly. First of all, to take advantage of all the product's features, you need to create a profile. To do this, click the Create Profile button. That's it. Next, basically, you just need to choose what you want to add to it. But if you're not sure what you want to add and just want to use it or try it out, then you just need to click the button. Create Profile. We've already filled in all the other data, so click the Start button. The browser profile opens. Let's go to PixelScat. And click Check. And we make sure that our profile is consistent and correct with no issues related to spoofing. Everything works well. Basically, the profile is ready to register some accounts, log into Facebook and so on. Let's try, for example, to register a Google account without a phone number. Let's go to Google. Click Sign In, then Create Account. Enter some information. Day, month, year. Select gender. Come up with an email address. Password. And you can successfully create an entirely new user account with absolutely no phone number required, which is already ready to use. Basically, right after registration, right after opening the browser profile, even immediately without a proxy, you can create a profile that will work for Google and will be considered a consistent profile. This works because firstly, the application already has such substitutions selected that allow you to perform certain actions even without proxies. And for example, registration for accounts like Google, Facebook, Outlook, Amazon, and so on. And specifically for Google, all this is done thanks to an interesting feature called device spoofing. We have an additional parameter called device name. In this case, when it is set to off, it means that your specific device is not transmitted to Google, but instead, our specific variant is sent, which is considered correct for it. But if you feel the need to change it somehow, you can do so. Select manual mode, choose any name you like, and save it. And for this profile, there will already be a specific device name. But the actual device that you are using with the product will not appear in Google in any way, regardless of the mode, whether it's off or manual. This is our unique feature, which only we have, so after registration, right from the first steps, you can immediately get registered on the resource you need. To maximize the number of such registrations, it is recommended to use a proxy. In general, to use the product, a proxy is often required. We won't be giving you separate recommendations for proxy services, but our product is integrated with other services that allow you to get such proxies for free on a trial basis. For example, we can use proxies like Node Maven, ASOX, Reciprox, or Tordata, and more proxies will be added there soon. But if you don't want to use these particular providers and you have your own proxies, that's not a problem. Now, for example, we'll also take some proxies. Let's say this one, and we'll add it here. You can add them here, or you can add them in the proxy section anywhere you like. Now we'll check them. It works. Paris. Let's go ahead and create one more profile. Checking the connection. Paris proxy, IPv6. We go online with them in the browser profile. Let's check our proxies. My IP. Well, first of all, we see the French language which is a good sign since the browser interface language doesn't change, but the language of the websites does, and it changes according to the proxy's language. Not all sites allow checking because not all sites are supported. Internet Protocol version 6 proxy. In this case, we can see that the proxy worked correctly as intended. Some providers say this is Germany, but our specific provider says it's France. After you've created a profile, checked how it works and so on, and start creating more profiles, you'll hit a limit at 10 profiles because you're on the free plan. Now let's try to create more profiles. Let's say we can create 8 more. Creating them. And now we have 10 profiles. Next. Currently the plan is limited to 10 profiles. A few days after this video, most likely by the time it's on YouTube, this limit will be 5 profiles instead of 10. Next. To help you navigate the list of profiles, it's recommended to use some labels, statuses, or tags. And in Dolphin Anty you can specify all of this. For example, if we've prepared a profile, we can mark it as ready. If that status doesn't suit us, we can choose another one. For instance, waiting. We select the color, add it, and now we have a waiting status. And now we can use it for other profiles as well. If we want to leave some specific data for a profile, we can do that in the notes. My data, data. Here we write in English. My data. For profile. After that we can do whatever we want with them. Highlight it somehow, choose some options here. We can add some tags to make it even more visible. Add a color, save it. And we end up with this kind of format. And that's it there. If something is visually jarring, you can adjust it here and so on. For example, you created several Facebook profiles, several documents. In that case, it is recommended to have articles. So on the first Facebook, select the profile that relates to Facebook ads and assign tags. Next, as it remains over there in the corner, you can also add it here. So let's do that. Let's add Google. Save. And then what happens next? If we only need to see Google profiles, we click on Google. If it's only Facebook, then only Facebook will show. There can be different types of Facebook. For example, Facebook can be, I don't know, a high limit account. Now, this right here is the maximum high limit. And let's say we have some Facebook account without these tags. Accordingly, if we select high limit, we see only one account. If we select Facebook as well, we also see only this account. Next. In addition to tags, statuses, and notes, a profile can also have profile types. Currently, we only have 4 options available. And accordingly, there's a general option, so to speak. Soon, options like OnlyFans, Rosetka, Wildberries, and Amazon will be available. And other sites that you need for work, so you can navigate the profile list more easily. There will be more options here, a completely different number, not like it is now. But from what we have now, for example, if our profile doesn't have any, then we just leave it as none. And if our profile is, for example, a Facebook one, then ideally, we should create it directly from Facebook. Next, or if for instance it's Google, then accordingly, a Google profile. Next, why do we need to do this? So that when you filter profiles, you only need to select those specific profiles. You can remove them here and you'll see only those profiles. This is a scientific approach to working with tags, but accordingly, with a large number of profiles, a large number of your users, and so on. This will be a more convenient solution. Next, we also have a folder feature where you can juggle profiles as you wish, with different tags, different notes, different statuses, however is convenient for you. For added convenience, you can also add images, for example, or name the folder Messages. This folder will contain only the accounts used for messaging. So, we select the profiles that are only for messaging, like these, and move them to the Messages folder. We save it. They remain in the general list, but if you click on the folder itself, they will be stored separately. You can create as many such folders as you want. Currently, there is no limit. for the free plan. So after that, you can create whatever you want here, however you want and whenever you want. Next, if you have proxies and accordingly need to create more in advance and so on, you can do this in a separate section. Bulk edition is not available for the free plan. It won't let you in here. But you can and should add proxies individually. To do this, just take the proxies that you already have, for example, and we will add another option. For example, after that, you can distribute and double check them, let's call it that. Then accordingly, we can check them there or share them with someone if it were a team plan. And to find it in the list, we just use our query. These proxies have all been found, they're fine, and you can add such proxies here as well. For the free plan, no more than 50 are allowed, meaning you can keep no more than 50 proxies in reserve. And accordingly, if you had a team plan, you could also share them, but unfortunately this is not available on the free plan because there are no users here. Next, scenarios, the synchronizer, and other functions are not available on the free tariff. On the free tariff, you can still add bookmarks, add extensions, add statuses in the settings, and set start pages. And some lines that are available here are meant, for example, to save on profile maintenance or for maintaining profiles for extensions. Disable images, hide buttons, video substitution and downloads, cookies, hide the profile name, enable these checks. This works for testing purposes. Let's save. Now we will hide images, hide the substitution buttons, video and download buttons, cookies to your computer, and we'll hide the fact that this is an application. Well, that this profile is open from Dolphin Anty. Let's go to all profiles. Let's click start. And here we can see that there are no buttons that would indicate this is Dolphin Anty. This is the extension we use as an auxiliary tool for profiles. It will also be hidden in the next release, so don't worry, it will be hidden as well. For some people this is very important, and as we can see, it just looks like a regular front end. So here is our original front end for the year, and here is the front end that has been replaced by our solution. Everything is hidden. Now let's check the images, for example, on another profile. That's how it works, and again, we see that there is no word Google, no icons. Download images. There are no images. Okay. We also have a feature that disables video downloads. We'll save that as well. So that it doesn't load, we go into the same profile. We go to YouTube. As we can clearly see right here, there are absolutely no videos available or loading. So the files are actually present, but they simply refuse to load. Or for example, let's pick some other site. We also see that no videos are loading. So it works. Next, in order to take full advantage of all the product's features, I recommend switching to a paid plan. Now some magic will happen and in an instant this plan will become a paid one. And you can see that with Enterprise, all the limits are gone. Any restrictions, any blocks, any points where functionality was blocked, everything is now available. Let's now check what we get from switching to Enterprise. Well, first of all, we get more and more profiles. And first and foremost, what do we get after switching to a paid plan? Well, first of all, we get the ability to switch between accounts. If you have another Dolphin Anty account where you use our product, starting from the Drift plan base and above, you can add that account here. And it will be available just like in Telegram, right here in this menu, and you can switch between them. Next, what else becomes available? First of all, you get the ability to launch profiles in bulk. Let's check this out. Here they are, all our profiles have launched. Everything is working, everything is fine. Next, you get the ability to launch the synchronizer on a profile. Let's launch the synchronizer. Profile 2 is our master profile, and profile 21 is its child profile. We start creating posts, and we see that the actions are repeated further, opening the same links. The actions are repeated. For example, downloading Roblox, and the actions are repeated. This is a very convenient feature for automating registrations or any repetitive actions you perform. For example, the same thing can be done on Facebook. That's possible too. So at the same time, you log in and you log into Facebook. Let's say you can insert some pages separately, and it will also log in the same way, and the actions as well. It even clicks in the same way, meaning it enters the data identically. Everything proceeds the same way. Right now it's also being rewritten, but for some basic actions it already works. Alright. And we close it. The main profile is closed, that's the black one. Next we have the option to pin more profiles. For example, if you need to pin more than one. Well, for example, like this. We take a profile, select it and click. And it gets pinned at the top. There, 2 profiles are pinned. Next, what else appears is the ability to transfer a profile. For example, if you want to transfer a profile to someone so that another person can use it. At the same time, all the settings and all the profile data are saved and transferred. To do this, you need to select these profiles, click the transfer button, and choose the email to which you want to transfer them. Here, either a team account is available, that is those created for the team, or you can enter the Tool Finance account to which you want to transfer the profile. It is important that this account exists, otherwise the profiles will not be transferred. Let's, for testing purposes, try to transfer the profiles. Click transfer, and while they are being transferred, until the person on the other side accepts the profile, they remain pending for you. If you change your mind about transferring, it's not a problem. You just click cancel, and accordingly the profiles are not transferred. The transfer is cancelled. And for the user to whom the profiles were being transferred, they are now displayed as exchanged profiles. They don't have it from the user. Next, the most important new feature is adding users. Now you can add a member of your team. For example, let's say it's some kind of buyer. You need to specify the email of this buyer, a real one that hasn't been used in Dolphin Anty yet. They don't need to register separately, you just need to enter that email here. Then some kind of password. Well, for testing we'll just use the same one now, but we recommend using some random password. If you can't come up with one, we can generate it for you later. Then select their role. Let's say it's a user. Next, you can choose whether to allow them to create a profile themselves or not. For example, if we don't allow profile creation, then they won't have the option to create one separately. If we do allow it, we can set a limit on the number of profiles that can be created or make it unlimited, meaning they can create as many as they want. And they will be able to create profiles until the total number of profiles for the account is reached. For example, like this. That's it, the profile is created, and accordingly the user's account is set up. Now you can take this account, log in under it, and accordingly you will see the account already as the buyer. Next, you can, for example, share this profile with the buyer. Select this buyer, choose the permissions you want to grant. For example, only view and launch permissions. That's it, okay. Share. And after that, the profiles have already been transferred to the buyer in the workspace that we selected. The buyer can see it on their end, and checking this is very simple. From the admin account, you can check how your users are doing. Select the user, select this buyer, and you will see the profiles that we shared with you. Moving forward, in addition to having the ability to create multiple user accounts, you also have the option to organize your bookmarks by creating specific folders. For instance, if we decide that we want to group things, let's say, first, we go ahead and generate a new digital bookmark, and then this specific bookmark can be easily organized and placed directly into a folder. Right now we don't have any folders, so to send it to a folder, we need to create one. Let's create one. We've successfully created a new folder and specifically placed this bookmark into that folder. As a result, we see that the bookmark remains in place so that it doesn't disappear for anyone, and the bookmark is also in the folder, so that's how it works. Next, the OS profile type is selected as Facebook, so you open Facebook accordingly. And we see that a folder named test123 has appeared, which is the one we need. You can create as many bookmarks like this as you want, and you can also make as many folders like this as you want. The main thing is that you need to decide which specific bookmarks you want to save in the folders. Next, we can create a script scenario. Let's try to quickly create some script. There's actually no limit to how many you can make. These scenarios, which can be made as blocks, allow you to automate almost any function. All the routine tasks you need, well, let's take an example and just create a script that will open a new tab for us. Then in that tab, it will open a certain URL, reload the page, and then open another tab. Let's connect these elements together. And then, for example, we need to restore the script. You can also create some kind of loop and so on, but for testing, the simplest option is new tab. Let's take some link from the internet as an example. Here's our link. Let's take it. Add the link and move on. After opening the tab, let's say, I don't know, let's open the Chrome Web Store. Go ahead and refresh the page, and then in the new tab that opens up, let's go, for example, let's take a look. To a search engine, just for this query. That's it. Let's launch the profile in the test browser. I'm not doing anything right now, I'm not doing anything. With the mouse, the script continues to work. The link has opened. A new page opened, it reloaded, and a new tab appeared. Everything worked, the profile worked as it should, and the script stopped. Everything is working. You can create as many of these scripts as you want. You can add branching, set conditions, handle various CAPTCHA passes, SMS verifications, value retrievals. You can make requests like in Postman and so on. All of this can be automated to improve your current workflow. Soon, we will also add the ability to do all this in extensions and in drop-down tabs in pop-up windows. All of this will be possible to do, and furthermore, the functionality will continue to develop and expand. Accordingly, right now we didn't save the script, it was just a test one. A test script, but when we create a script somewhere, for example like this one, we can easily save this file and make it accessible to everyone else as a reusable saved script.